Hello, my beautiful new mommies. I am back again. So it's funny, there's noise from the dishwasher in the background, but I feel like as I've been starting to shoot these videos, before I was trying to do a little bit more, picture perfect and, um, the right lighting and things like that. And then I just started, of course, as I say all the time, I started running out or feeling like I didn't have time to go through that whole process to make it perfect. I'm a busy mom, and so I guess with me, you're going to have dishwasher noise in the background because if I don't fit it in now, it's difficult for me to make time to fit it in the perfect time. So I'm also doing things out of my car, like filming my car, just trying to change things up so it's easier to jump on and do these videos because I feel like it's so important, and I just feel this draw or compelled to share my story. It's kind of funny. I mean, to get on YouTube and to get on video, I am naturally shy. And at first I was like, oh no, I'm not going to do this. And even some of my mom friends have been like, so why are you doing this? It's interesting, but you're busy. Why are you making the time? And my answer is, my experience that I went through having a new baby with no family in town, it was such a shock to my system, and I just didn't know what to do coming from the business world and, thinking, oh, I'm going to have all this quality time with my baby, not realizing just the daily grind and the daily mom duties, and doing it on very little sleep. And so, especially those first couple of months, I really felt isolated at home because all of my friends either didn't have kids or they were at work. And so while I was home with my baby, eventually you want to have adult conversations. I hear this all the time. Even my mom talked about raising my sister and I, that when my father would come home, she would be so excited to talk to him because she hadn't really spoken to an adult all day. And so, even though I'm naturally shy, and yes, it's a little bit scary to put yourself out there, especially your personal story. If I were just doing videos about clicks, and which, is all great, I'm just saying it's a little challenging to open yourself up. But I've told people I feel like I have to do it. I feel like I have to do it for myself, that new mom that, had a 2-month-old baby that was home by herself, feeling isolated, trying to get the baby's rhythm, and then also just trying to figure out how to take care of myself in the process, and how to change up my day. What were those tips and hacks, as people call them, where I could help take better care of myself? And really, that's why I'm doing this. I feel like I have to. I feel like I have to share my story because when you're put in that situation and you don't feel like you have people you can reach out to that are going to understand, because people who have local family in town, I feel like it is a different deal, and I love that. And my wish is that eventually every new mom in the world will have a village when they have their first baby. Whether that's immediate family or whether that's maybe hearing things on this channel to help moms figure out, okay, if I don't have that local village or family in town, what are some things that I can go about doing to help create that village? And so that is my hope and my wish. And that's why I'm on here and making time when the dishwasher's running and saying, no, I'm still going to make time. I'm going to make time for this, because that new mom, you know, in month 1, month 2, she deserves to know that, you know, she's not alone, and there are things that she can do that are under her control, and there are things she can do today to start to help build that support system that I feel is so important for moms. You know, as moms, we need our tribe. And it's, you know, while you can have a tribe of, you know, other women who maybe don't have a baby right now but have been through the process, that's great. But also building that tribe that's available during the week to connect with, to send text messages with. So sorry, I'm kind of going on this rant right now, but I just felt it was important to share why I'm doing videos with dishwashers running in the background. Because, you know, not every YouTuber, you know, a lot of YouTubers have microphones and they have lighting and they have a 30-minute makeup process that they do, which is fantastic. But as a busy mom, that's not going to be me. That's not going to be this channel. So, but I am committed and dedicated to finding ways to take care of myself and also sharing what I'm learning along the way. So maybe it can help you as well. So yeah, so sorry for this rant, but it is what it is. So today, we are still on our on my How to Free Up Time as a New Mom series. And still, my son's 3 now, and I'm still having to find ways to free up time. So this is, you know, always changing, right? Because the baby's always changing, the child's always changing. So we are on How to Free Up Your Time number 9. And so another way that I found time was I simplified my home and found pleasures. And some of this comes from the Madame Chic series. She's amazing. If you haven't read her book, I highly recommend it. And again, if you don't have time, one of the ways you can get time is to join a gym that has a kids club. You commit to going 3 days a week. 2 days a week you work out, and the 3rd day you just sit on a bench and have time to either read a book, listen to maybe an audiobook, listen to a podcast, look at your Facebook. Just have time for you to fill your cup. So that's one of the ways you can find time to read. So, and I have this written down as a list just because I don't want to forget anything. So I'm going to share, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to share 3 ways I simplified my home and 2 pleasures that I added daily. So the first way I simplified my home was I started to declutter my home monthly. So yes, I went through the whole KonMari Method, and you know that really needs a weekend, or you know, that needs a certain amount of days because it is kind of a bigger ordeal, so to speak. But once I did that, then I still committed to putting it on the calendar and making time to declutter and just go through whether it was baby clothes, you know, even pulling some of the baby clothes and offering it to other moms I knew. Hand-me-downs are fantastic. I did this with one of my mom friends was kind enough to let me have her hand-me-downs, and it's so helpful because there's always expenses, right? You know, whether it's diapers, wipes, doctor's appointments, I mean, you know, there's always something. So number 1, I committed to decluttering my home monthly. So this helped free up time because there was just less stuff to keep track of. Tip number 2 is I decluttered my wardrobe, and I previously talked about that. You can check out my video on how I simplified my wardrobe. So decluttered my wardrobe and created a 10-item wardrobe. Or another way of looking at it is I created a mom uniform. So these were my go-to outfits that I felt comfortable in. They fit my new body. They fit my new life, and you know, clothes that I felt good and comfortable in. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is I created a weekly routine. So yeah, I created a weekly routine because at the beginning, I pretty much was doing everything every day. At least that's what it felt like. I was doing laundry every day. I felt like I was going to Target every other day, if not every other day, because I was still learning all of the things that I needed. And a lot of times I would forget, or Target would be out of what I needed. And so then I'd have to go back, within 2 days. And so just trying to stop, slow down the chaos, the daily chaos. And I have a joke with one of my mom friends. And we used to say in the early days, we would say, I can only do 10 things at one time. It's okay. I can only do 10 things at one time. I've got this, because there's so much to do on a daily basis. So the third tip and way that I helped free up time was I created a weekly routine. So that included, what days I was going to do laundry, what days I was going to go to Target. So then that way I wasn't doing everything every single day. And at the beginning I created a weekly routine, but then as I, got better at the routine and figured out what worked best for me, then I changed it to the word rhythm, because I feel like routine is so structured and rigid. And at the beginning I needed structure and rigid. But after, I got the hang of things a little bit better, then I liked to think of it more as a rhythm. So let's say that before I penciled in that I was going to do laundry at 10 a.m. while my baby was taking a nap. Well, now it was just, okay, once I put my son, down, lay him down for a nap, that's going to trigger me to then start the laundry. I didn't need to do it on a specific time. So, but to get started, I did have to be rigid because my body was having to relearn new routines. And coming from the business world, this is just a very different lifestyle. So, so those were my top 3. So again, I committed to decluttering my home monthly, decluttered my wardrobe, and created a 10-item wardrobe, or a mom uniform of clothes that I loved. And number 3, I created a weekly routine, or a weekly rhythm for the week of all of my mom duties. So simplifying my home, and then 2 of the pleasures. So I found pleasures. This was important because you're doing a lot of this daily, and a lot of times you can't leave the house, depending on where the baby's at. And what's going on with the baby and what's going on with you. So especially for those weeks that I was home a lot and I wasn't able to get out and connect with others as much as I'd like, these were my 2 go-tos. So the first pleasure, or actually I'm going to do 3. The first pleasure was I created a fun music playlist, or I found really good podcasts. And these were to use when maybe I set a timer for 15 to 20 minutes to do a quick, sweep of the house with cleaning. So just something to uplift my mood. And it really did help, finding just fun songs again. The second pleasure was I would light a candle in the afternoon. Just having the fragrance and the scent, when you're doing all of your routines. It really added to my day, and I felt like it was giving something to me. And then the third thing that I did for pleasure was I decided to move my dessert to the afternoon, because I felt like in the middle of the day, I really did need just that, little treat or little pleasure, for the day, just to kind of reward myself for all of the things that I'm doing, just, for some self-care and some self-pleasure. Now, I will warn you that when I was nursing, and you're craving fat. I don't know if you guys went through this, but oh my gosh, I was craving fat all the time. I was eating peanut butter with a spoon in the middle of the night. I mean, I was a crazy person. I was like, what is going on with me? But so at the beginning, in the afternoon, I called it my chocolate afternoon pleasure. But when I was nursing, it got a little bit out of control. I was probably eating 20 pieces of chocolate a day. And I even eventually admitted to one of my mom friends, I think I'm a pleasure eater because this is too much. I shouldn't be eating 20 pieces of chocolate in a day. But that's where I was at. And so eventually I got, some sort of balance, and I brought it down to 5 pieces of chocolate a day. And it's just the little coins that I used. But I really do love chocolate. I usually use dark chocolate. I've heard that's better, but who knows, maybe 10 years from now they'll say something about that. But just giving myself a little piece of chocolate. And also I felt like this was so important to give yourself to give myself some daily pleasures throughout the day before my significant other came home. And this is what I talk to moms a lot about, because a lot of them share, well, my husband comes home and he doesn't understand what I'm going through. And even myself, I found myself at certain points feeling like, okay, well, when my husband comes home, then I'm going to get to talk to somebody, and then I'm going to get to share what I'm going through. But your significant other's been at work all day, and the last thing that my significant other wanted to hear, especially if I needed to vent, was me venting about my day. And so one of the ways I put this for moms, just to help change, our mindset, is what are those things you can do for yourself to fill up your cup so you're already okay before your significant other walks through the door? What is under your control that you can do to fill up your cup and to give yourself that energy and maybe those connections that you're yearning for, right? Those adult connections. So I think that this is so important, not just to free up your time, which is important as well, but also helping to manage not just our time management, but our energy management. Because sometimes you can have all the time in the world, but if you're constantly thinking about all the things that you need to be doing, then you're still energetically getting drained. So what are the, 1 to 2 things you can do on a daily basis to reverse that and to start filling up your cup? So when your significant other gets home, you're already in a good place before he walks through the door. So again, so much fun getting to chat with you guys. I hope this is okay. Please let me know in the comments or shoot me an email if the dishwasher is bothering you and you feel like it's too distracting, and I'll try to work some things around. My channel's not going to be the picture perfect perfection. It's, but I am committed to focusing on, our energy as moms, our well-being as moms, and owning, our responsibilities and what is on our plate to better take care of ourselves so that we can better take care of our baby and have that energy and the quality time. And also being able to connect with others, building the village. So much fun to visit with you. Let me know where you're listening in from. I love to hear where everyone is, and looking forward to talking to you guys next week on my last tip, number 10, on how to free up time as a new mom. All right, until then, bye.